Welcome to drawing of accounts. Okay, so moving on for transaction 1, which is 1st of September 2011, the owner actually contributed capital in terms of cash in hand of 3,000. So how you actually do out accounts, you start off by drawing your lines. So there'll be one horizontal line and 4 vertical lines. After you draw the lines, you fill in the headers. So the first account is actually debit cash in hand. So you create a cash in hand account and you have the following details: date, particulars, debit, credit, balance. And you draw a $3 sign. Next, to help yourself, you can actually label it as asset in another color pen, and DAE equals LCI. DAE, assets, being debit nature, debit plus, credit minus. So in your first transaction, the date is 2011, September the 1st. And cash in hand is being debited, debit 3,000. So therefore, your balance is actually 3,000 debit, 3,000 debit. And for the particulars, you actually take the opposite, which is capital. It also explains why your cash in hand increases by 3,000. It's because of your owner's contribution, capital. Now do the same for your capital account. And you should be able to get, capital account increase, so credit 3,000. Balance will give you 3,000 credit. And the particulars will be the opposite, which is cash in hand. Meaning to say, the capital account increases in terms of cash in hand. Next, the owner also contributed furnitures. So, furnitures increases by 2,000, debit 2,000. And furniture account will have a balance of 2,000, debit. Particulars will be the opposite of the furniture account, which is capital. Meaning to say, this furniture account increases because of owner's contribution, capital. Now, let's look at the next one. Okay, because we have already created a capital account, so it's actually a credit 2,000 for furniture. So credit 2,000 for capital, and the balance will then be existing 3,000 credit, you add another 2,000, so it becomes 5,000 credit. And the particulars will be the opposite of capital, which is the furniture. For the next transaction, on the September the 8th, there was an increase in office equipment. Okay, so debit 2,500, having a balance of 2,500 debit. For the particulars, it's actually the opposite, so it's cash in hand. Meaning to say that they use cash in hand to buy this office equipment. So intuitively, there will be another cash in hand account. But since we already created this cash in hand account in the first transaction, we just continue from this account. Okay, so the date is 8 September, and you paid out cash in hand, so your cash in hand decreased by 2,500. There is actually an existing balance of 3,000 debit, means 3,000 positive. Okay, minus away 2,500. There is still 500 positive. so there's still 500 debit. And for the particulars, we actually fill in the opposite, which is office equipment, meaning to say that this cash in hand decreases by 2,500 because they bought an office equipment. So this is how you can interpret accounts. And for the inventory account, okay, it is created because on September the 10th, they actually bought inventory. So debit 10,000, having a 10,000 debit, okay, for inventory account on 10 September. And for particulars, it will then be trade payable because they use trade payable to pay for the inventories. So therefore, the particulars we write trade payable Sunny Bookstore. And we have this debit entry, we need to have a credit entry, and the credit entry is your trade payable. So your trade payable Sunny Bookstore account. Since we don't have one existing one, we create a new one. And for this trade payable, it's actually credit 10,000 because it's a liability. When it increases, it's a credit. Balance will then be 10,000 credit. Particulars, why we owe this trade payable is because we use it to buy inventories. Now on 15th September, okay, the cash in hand actually increases by 7,500 because the owner contributed 7,500. Okay, so cash debit cash in hand 7,500, and the balance is actually 500 debit, 500 positive. You add another 7,500 will give you 8,000 positive. Okay, so 8,000 positive in cash in hand means 8,000 debit. Now, the opposite of the cash in hand account is actually your capital account. Another way to describe it is because this cash in hand increases by 7,500 because of owner's contribution capital. Now, moving on, we have an existing capital account already. Okay, so it's actually a credit capital 7,500. Okay, there's actually an existing credit 5,000 already. So you just need to add another 7,000, add another 7,500, you get 12,500 positive credit for capital account. Okay, so your particulars will then be the opposite, which is cash in hand. And to explain this, it means that your capital account increases in terms of cash in hand. Now, on the 17th of September, there was a cash purchase of inventories. So therefore, your inventory increases by 3,000, debit 3,000. There's already an existing 10,000 debit. So if you add another 5,000, you get 15,000 debit balance. And your opposite is then cash in hand, because you use cash in hand to purchase your inventories. Now we already have an existing cash in hand account, so we just have to add on to our cash in hand account. Now, how do we add on? Okay, September the 17th, there was a decrease in cash in hand, credit 5,000. Having an existing 8,000 debit and you credit away 5,000 will give you an existing 3,000 debit. 8,000 minus away 5,000, 3,000 debit. The opposite is inventory, meaning to say that this cash in hand decreases because it was used to purchase inventories. On the 19th of September, there was a utilities expense which has debit by 2,000. So there's a balance of 2,000 debit. Okay, the opposite is cash in hand because they use cash in hand to pay out for the utilities expense. Having an existing cash in hand account, we just add on to the accounts of cash in hand. Okay, But just on 19th September, cash in hand decreases by 2,000. Okay, and because they have an existing balance of 3,000 debit, so you just minus away 2,000 will give you existing of 1,000 debit balance. Now, the particulars will then be the opposite, which is utilities expense. Meaning to say this cash in hand decreases by 2,000 because it is used to pay out for utilities expense. Now, owner actually made a drawings. Okay, so we have a drawings account, and on the 28th of September, okay, he actually withdrew debit 1,000, having a balance of 1,000 debit. Now, he withdrew in terms of cash in hand, so the opposite is cash in hand, so the particulars is cash in hand. Now we have an existing cash in hand account, so let's look at how it goes. So for our cash in hand account, on the 28th, okay, it reduces by 1,000, and they already have an existing 1,000 debit in the bank account. I mean not bank account, in the cash in hand account. Okay, so therefore, if 1,000 minus away another 1,000 will actually give you a zero balance. Okay, and for your particulars is then drawings, the opposite.